This first Monday afternoon is a soupy one, and that soup is threatening to brew up some storms. Thank you for joining us, and Happy New Year. I'm Hoyt here with meteorologist Scott Covert. We're trying to gauge your anxiety as we see these weather systems converging on the state right now.
I think that's right. There's a lot of ingredients at play. Some of that is that soupiness you feel outside, the humidity. Enough of the ingredients present that, yep, we're going to see some severe weather across Arkansas today. In fact, you may even see 2 rounds. This is the latest severe weather outlook for this afternoon and into this evening, and now encompasses a really large majority of Arkansas in that level 3 out of a potential 5. We call it an enhanced risk, and the reason we have that concern, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. I think we are going to have to deal with some supercells that try to rotate, which means tornadoes will be a possibility with this system. Well, I can't rule out large hail. I'll tell you that seems to be on the more minimal side. Flash flooding, also a concern. I've got no active watches at the moment, but consider this your early heads up. The Storms Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, giving us an idea that they are monitoring the southwestern quarter of Arkansas, areas shaded in red, for the potential of a tornado watch that would come in the next couple of hours. The probability of that in of itself, 60%. You'll notice we now have our first severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of eastern Arkansas. That's going to include parts of Arkansas County. DeWitt, you're under that thunderstorm warning. Scattered showers continuing to develop in parts of west and southwest Arkansas, those all drifting towards the north. So downtown Little Rock, we're dry at the moment. Those showers, though, getting a little bit closer. It is warm out there. 68 degrees is the current temperature in Little Rock. It's humid. We'll be in those low 70s today. Coming up, we'll take an hour-by-hour look at this afternoon's storms as well as later this evening's. All that coming up in your full forecast.
Scott, thank you. New today at noon, a teenager who drove through a crowd during a Halloween event in Beebe has been charged and will face a judge tomorrow. According to court documents, 17-year-old Jordan Gray drove through barricades and onto a closed street during Beebe's Halloween festival back in October. She hit several people in the crowd and pulled a taser on a man who tried to intervene once her car stalled out. Gray now faces 17 counts of aggravated assault and a charge of use of a weapon. All of them are felonies. She's set to appear in court in Searcy tomorrow morning. Police in Arkadelphia investigating a deadly double shooting. Officers responded to Lark Place Apartments late Friday night for a report of a robbery and shooting. There, they found a 16-year-old dead in the parking lot. 1 minute later, 911 received a call of a 24-year-old man found dead at Baptist Health Medical Center in Arkadelphia. Arkansas State Police and the Clark County Sheriff's Office are assisting in that investigation. The emergency curfew in the city of Eudora remains in effect for one more night. We first told you that the mayor there declared a civil emergency after a rise in violent crime, including a killing on Christmas Eve. At a meeting last week, the city council voted to extend that curfew through tomorrow morning. The issues even getting the attention of the New York Times, which published a piece over the weekend. City officials told the paper there were nearly a dozen shootings in recent weeks and threats of even more violence. Officers are working 16-hour shifts and patrolling through the night. Let's now go to Idaho, where new details are emerging after police arrested a suspect in the murder of 4 college students. 28-year-old criminology student Brian Koberger was taken into custody Friday in Pennsylvania. The families of the 4 victims say the arrest brings them hope, but there are still a lot of questions. Daniel Backus has more from Moscow, Idaho.
Investigators are combing through every aspect of suspect Brian Koberger's life as they try to piece together a possible motive in the murders of 4 University of Idaho college students.
We're trying to build this picture now of him, who he is, his history, how we got to this event.
Law enforcement sources say FBI agents tracked the 28-year-old's movements days leading up to his arrest at his parents' home in eastern Pennsylvania. It's located more than 2,500 miles from the house in Moscow, Idaho, where Koberger is accused of stabbing Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin while they were sleeping on November 13th. Gonzalez's father says their arrest brings some relief.
This is the first bit of joy that we've had in close to 7 weeks. We hope they picked the right guy, and that gives us hope, and we haven't had hope for a long time.
Koberger is a PhD criminology student at Washington State University and lived in Pullman, Washington, about a 15-minute drive from the victims. Police haven't found a murder weapon or said if Koberger knew the students. Law enforcement sources say forensic analysis allegedly linked him to the murders. The public defender representing Koberger in the extradition says about a month after the murders, his client went on a road trip home to Pennsylvania with his father that was planned at the beginning of the semester. They were in a white Hyundai Elantra. It's the same make and model of the vehicle spotted near the scene of the murders.
The police department believes that the person we have in custody, which would be Koberger, is the one who's responsible for these crimes.
In their first statement, the family of Brian Koberger said they care deeply for the 4 families who have lost children. They also said they are fully cooperating with police in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence. Danya Backus, CBS News, Moscow, Idaho.
The start of the new year also means a fresh start for new and returning city leaders here in central Arkansas. Officials took their oath of offices yesterday in downtown Little Rock. Dozens gathered at Little Rock's Robinson Center to witness the ceremony, including Andrea Lewis, the new city board member representing the neighborhoods south and west of I-630 in the Big Rock interchange.
I'm just thankful and grateful for this day and for the outpour of support that I received. I can't even talk about it.
Newly re-elected Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr. also pledged progress for the city as he enters his second term.
More jobs, less violent crime, additional quality of life measures, and a united city government working for the benefit of all our residents.
Meanwhile, those re-elected to the Little Rock City Board include Virgil Miller, Ken Richardson, Kathy Webb, Lance Hines, and BJ Wyrick. An upcoming traffic alert. I-30 construction begins significant lane closures tomorrow. Daytime, overnight, and 24-hour closures are all scheduled to begin Tuesday, weather permitting, of course. For a full list of all the roadblocks, head over to thv11.com. Of course, millions of people are driving home from their holiday destinations today. Unfortunately, New Year's and the days that surround it are some of the deadliest on the roads, taking about 400 lives a year, according to the National Safety Council. But a new report finds risky behavior is happening all year round. Jake Nelson from AAA says many risky behaviors that were declining are making a comeback.
The number of people who admitted to driving while impaired by alcohol, cannabis, speeding, texting while driving, a whole range of risky driving behaviors has increased dramatically.
The new survey finds that the percentage of drivers who admit speeding actually fell to 45% in 2020, but then jumped to more than 50% a year later. And with the start of a new year, many people make resolutions, but sticking to those goals can be tough. THV11's Julissa Garza shares how you can make resolutions that last while taking care of your mental health.
They are coming in with intentions that they've set to work towards in the new year.
When the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, there's excitement for new beginnings. But clinical therapist Beatrice Cloakpaw says the new year can also cause some stress.
There's a tremendous amount of pressure that comes with change. New beginnings and the beginning of a new year is one of them.
Cloakpaw says keeping up with New Year's resolutions can be overwhelming.
And a lot of the times what that feels like is the slow tick up a roller coaster, knowing that on the other side of that, there's this mad dash to completing goals. A lot of the times what also is present is we start procrastinating on the things that we need to do. And then that sends us into a cycle of even more anxiety and frustration.
You might be ready to jump into your goals immediately, but there's no rush.
You don't have to know everything that you want to do this year right now. Give yourself some time to pause, and maybe the better option right now is to reflect on 2022. And from there, the awareness about what's next for you in 2023 will come up.
She says the first thing to do when you're reflecting is ask yourself some questions.
What did I accomplish this year? How did I make myself proud? What did my experiences come to teach me about myself and about life this year?
This can help prevent feeling overwhelmed or anxious as we ease into a new year.
It's extremely important to balance out the stress that comes with the new year by focusing on your mental health.
In Little Rock, Julissa Garza, THV11 News.
Julissa, thank you. Still to come at noon, a new treatment could delay a diabetes diagnosis for those most at risk. We'll hear from the doctor behind the research. Plus, the Rose Parade is a sight for the senses, but it's also a moment to raise awareness for life-saving gifts. We've got one woman's health journey among the stories behind the parade this year. Plus, Scott.
Storms developing in southern Arkansas, drifting towards the north. We now have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day for Arkansas County. There's likely more of those, with 2 rounds of severe weather anticipated this afternoon and again tonight. The latest on that severe weather forecast coming up when we return.